Hey everyone! In this video today I want to show you guys how to make this super neat and fun sort of double inverted diamond sort of friendship bracelet here. It's very nice and simple looking with that very nice pop of color throughout the bracelet. It is not difficult at all to make, just needs a lot of string and some of your time, so if you want to learn how to make this super fun bracelet, then keep on watching. So for this bracelet here, you will only need 5 white strands, 5 black strands, and then 1 of your color. It can be any color that you want it to be, you don't have to make it purple. The video will still be super easy to follow no matter what color you have here. And I have my strings pretty short for demonstration purposes, but for this specific bracelet you do want these strings to actually be pretty long, especially your color, since it gets zigzag throughout the whole bracelet. I even had to add a little bit in just at the very end on my very last section. So I would measure about 40 inches or 1 meter, that should be plenty. And having that length of string will also get you ties on both ends super easily. So I am going to go ahead and do a half triangle start to sort of organize my strings, but this is something that is completely for aesthetics. If you do not want to make any sort of shape start and you just want to start on the bracelet, then go ahead and skip this step completely. I will have timestamps in the description box so that you can just go straight to the tutorial. But this is just something that has become super popular, and honestly, it's really nice to do. Especially on these sort of diagonal starting bracelets, like a candy stripe is a really good example. They work up pretty weird to start out. So being able to do these sort of starts just kind of helps keeps the string in order, and you don't have to worry about it being too messy in the beginning or having to be too careful. But like I said, completely optional. Just do whatever you feel comfortable doing. And I will have a tutorial for this specific start in the top right corner for you to click on right now. So if you need to learn how to make it, then go ahead and watch that first. Now, if you skipped the diagonal shape start, then this is how you want to order your strings. From left to right, you will start out with your color, and then you will put in all 5 of your white strands, and then all 5 of the black strands. But let's go ahead and get right on into the pattern. This is a super easy pattern to segment knot. Very easy to break up the sections, so hopefully you can follow along pretty easily. So what we are going to do first is we're going to take our outermost left strand, which is our color here, and we are going to do forward knots across all of our strings here to bring it over to the right side. And now we are going to come back to our left side here and work on our very first diamond section here. So take your outermost left strand and make forward knots across all of the strings to the right of it, and then on this final black strand right here you will do a forward backward knot. And now we're going to come back to our outermost left strand here. And next we want to do forward knots just across the next 3 strands to the right of it, which will be the rest of your white strands. And then again, come back to your outermost left strand and do forward knots just on the next 2 strands to the right of it. And then again, come back to your outermost left strand and just do a forward knot onto the string to the right of it. And at this point here, if you want to fix the top of your bracelet, just kind of scooch it over and make this section more straight down instead of going off to the right. This will make it way easier working on the bracelet moving forward. So we are going to go kind of in the middle here with all of our black strands, and we're going to take the one that is on the outermost left side, closest to all of our white strands, and what we want to do is do backward knots onto the next 3 strings to the left of it, and then on this 4th one here we will do a backward forward knot. And then we're going to come back to the rest of our black strands here, and we're going to pick up the next one that's kind of in the middle here, and we are going to do a backward knot onto the first white strand to the left of it. And then we are going to pick up the next black strand in line, do another backward knot onto this white strand to the left of it, and then again we're going to pick up this next black strand here, and this time we are going to do a backward forward knot onto the white string. And now we want to quickly work on our little diamond section in the middle here. So we want to pick up the white strand here that is closest to our pair of black strands, and we want to do a forward knot onto the first black strand to the right of it. And then on the next one we will do a forward backward knot. And then we'll come back to this other white strand here and do a forward backward knot onto the black strand to the right of it. And then we're going to come back to our white strand here in our small diamond and close it up by doing a backward knot onto the black strand to the left of it. And now we are going to close up the rest of this diamond completely. So we want to come back to our pair of black strands here, pick up the one on the right, and do a forward knot onto the white string to the right of it. And then we're going to pick up this next black strand here and do a forward knot again onto this white strand to the right of it. And then we're going to come back to our black strand that is clear over on the left here, and we are going to do 3 forward knots onto all 3 of these white strands to the right of it. And now I am going to change this part of the pattern up just a little bit. So we are going to come back to our outermost left strand here with our group of white strands, and we are going to do forward knots onto the next 3 strands to the right of it. And then we'll come back to our outermost left strand again and do forward knots onto the next 2 strands to the right of it. And then again, come back to your outermost left strand and just do 1 forward knot. And going in this way instead of going this way like the pattern shows, just because of the next step, it just kind of helps keep this a lot more straight. So instead of the strings kind of wanting to pull and curve out that way, this will help it just kind of stay a little bit more straight going in this way. So we're going to come back to our white strand that is kind of off by itself over here. And we are going to do backward knots across all of these black and white strands to the left of it to bring it over to the outermost left side. And because this white strand is getting dangerously short, I'm gonna be a little cheeky and kind of trade my white strands at this spot, just to kind of move it into a different part of the pattern where it hopefully won't get eaten up so much. And now we are going to work on sort of part 2 of this pattern. We'll be getting ready for the right side now. So this time we are going to go back to our outermost right side, and we're going to take our colored strand here and do backward knots across all of the strings to the left of it to bring it over to the outermost left side. And now for the right side, we are going to sort of follow the same formula as the left, but kind of mirror it a little bit. So take your outermost right strand, which is your black strand now, and you will do backward knots across all of these black and white strings and leaving your colored string out of it. So you'll do all of your backward knots onto your black and white strands, but on the 5th strand here, you will do a backward forward knot. And then you'll come back to your outermost right strand, and you will do backward knots onto the next 3 strings to the left of it, which will be the rest of your black strands. And then again, come back to your outermost right side and do backward knots onto the next 2 strings to the left of it. And then again, come back to your outermost right strand, and this time just do a backward knot onto the string to the left of it. And then you will come up to your first white strand that is next to all of your black strands here, and you are going to do 3 forward knots onto the next 3 strings to the right of it. Then on the 4th one, do a forward backward knot. I definitely traded my white string at the worst spot. And then we are going to come back to our next white strand here in the middle, and you will do a forward knot onto the black string to the right of it. And then we'll move over to the next white strand and again do a forward knot onto the black strand to the right of it. And then with the next white strand in line, you will do a forward backward knot onto the black strand. And then we are going to come to the middle of our sort of group here and pick up the left black strand that is closest to these pair of white strands here. We are going to do a backward knot onto the string to the left of it, and then on the next one we will do a backward forward knot. And then with the next black strand, we are going to do a backward forward knot onto the white strand to the left of it. And then come back to this black strand that we did the knots with before and do a forward knot onto that white strand to the right of it. And then we're going to come back to our pair of white strands here. And we're going to take the left one and first do a backward knot onto the black strand to the left of it. And then we'll come back to the next white strand and again do a backward knot onto that black strand. And now we are going to take this right strand clear on the right side and we are going to do 3 backward knots onto the next 3 strands to the left of it. Now we are going to come back to our group of black strands over here and we're going to do what we did up here but mirror it. So take the outermost right strand and do backward knots onto the next 3 strands to the left of it. And then we're going to come back to our outermost right side, do 2 backward knots onto the strings to the left of it. And then finally, newest outermost right side, do a backward knot onto the string to the left of it. And here is also why I like to bring it over like that, because I can hold down on this bracelet and just kind of pull on this string and straighten out my bracelet. And now to finish off the pattern completely, we're going to come back to this black strand here on the left side and we are going to do forward knots across all the rest of the strings here and bring it over to the very right side. And that is the whole pattern completed. And if you can recognize, our strings are back in the same order that they were in the very beginning of the video, which means if you need to follow this tutorial over a second, third, however many times you need to, you can follow exactly from step 1, which will be timestamped in the description box, and you can click on it and go right back to where we started with part 1. And you can just keep going and going until you have your desired length and your bracelet is fully completed. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it was pretty easy for you to follow along, and I will see you in the next one.